You feel behind your friends, behind people your age, behind the version of yourself you thought you would become by now. You see people moving forward, graduating, getting married, making money, building careers, starting businesses, looking confident, looking certain, looking like they have life figured out. And then you look at yourself, still unsure, still questioning, still starting over, still trying to understand what you actually want. So a thought begins to grow inside you. I am late. I wasted too much time. I should be further by now. But what if you are not actually behind? What if you are just measuring your life with someone else's clock? Because the feeling of being behind does not always come from failure. Sometimes it comes from comparison. Sometimes it comes from living under a timeline you never consciously chose. A timeline that tells you when you should succeed, when you should know yourself, when you should be rich, when you should be loved, when you should be complete. But life is not a race, and your soul does not grow according to society's calendar. Most people live under invisible rules. By this age, you should have a degree. By this age, you should have money. By this age, you should have a career. By this age, you should be in a relationship. By this age, you should know exactly who you are. Nobody has to say these rules out loud. You absorb them from family, from school, from culture, from social media, from watching everyone around you chase the same milestones. And slowly, you begin to believe there is a correct way to live, a correct speed, a correct order, a correct version of success. So when your life does not match that image, you assume something is wrong with you. But maybe nothing is wrong with you. Maybe the problem is the measurement. Because if you measure your life against everyone else, you will always find someone who makes you feel behind. Someone younger doing more. Someone your age earning more. Someone less talented getting noticed faster. Someone who seems happier, stronger, more confident, more complete. Comparison is endless because there is always someone ahead in one area of life. But you never see the full cost of their path. You see the result, not the loneliness, not the fear, not the pressure, not the compromises, not the private doubt. You compare your inner life to their outer image, and that comparison is never fair. Social media makes this worse because now you are not comparing yourself to real life. You are comparing yourself to edited moments. You see someone's vacation, not their emptiness. You see someone's relationship, not their arguments. You see someone's money, not their anxiety. You see someone's success, not the years they felt lost. You see the highlight, then you judge your whole life against it. And because your life feels messy from the inside, you start believing everyone else is doing better. But most people are not as certain as they look. Most people are improvising. Most people are scared. Most people are trying to appear more stable than they feel. The difference is simple. You see all of your confusion. You only see their performance. That is why comparison hurts so much. You are not comparing truth to truth. You are comparing your reality to someone else's mask. And if you judge your life by another person's mask, you will always feel inadequate. One of the heaviest thoughts is, I wasted too much time. You think about the years you lost, the chances you did not take, the habits you did not build, the projects you never started, the relationships you stayed in too long, the version of yourself you could have become if you had been braver earlier. This thought can be painful, but regret has two uses. It can wake you up, or it can trap you. If regret teaches you, it becomes wisdom. If regret becomes your identity, it becomes a prison. Maybe you did waste time. Maybe you were distracted. Maybe you were afraid. Maybe you were surviving. Maybe you made choices you would not make today. But the fact that you can see it now means something has changed. The old version of you was inside the pattern. The new version of you is finally aware of it. That awareness hurts, but it also gives you power, because the moment you realize you have been wasting your life is the moment you can stop wasting it. Do not say, "I wasted time, so I am a failure." Say, "I wasted time and now I know what it costs." That difference matters. One sentence destroys you, the other wakes you up. You cannot recover every lost year, but you can become the kind of person who does not lose the next ones. Feeling behind is dangerous because it makes you desperate, and desperate people often choose the wrong life. They rush into relationships because being alone feels embarrassing. They chase careers they do not want because they want to look successful. They buy things they cannot afford because they want proof that they are doing well. They copy other people's dreams because they do not trust their own. When you feel behind, you stop asking, "What is true for me?" and you start asking, "What will make me look less behind?" That question can ruin your life because it makes appearance more important than truth. You may finally look successful, but feel empty. You may finally look accepted, but feel disconnected from yourself. You may finally catch up to other people, only to realize you abandoned your own path. A life built from panic will not give you peace. It may give you approval. It may give you status. It may give you temporary relief. But it will not feel like yours, because peace does not come from catching up to the crowd. It comes from living in alignment with yourself. You are not a finished product. You are in a process. And the process often looks ugly while it is happening. A seed does not look like a tree. A foundation does not look like a home. A person rebuilding their life does not always look impressive. Sometimes growth looks like confusion. Sometimes it looks like starting again. Sometimes it looks like losing interest in things that used to define you. Sometimes it looks like leaving people who no longer fit your future. Sometimes it looks like being quiet while everyone else seems loud. Sometimes it looks like nothing is happening. But something is happening. You are changing internally before life changes externally. And that is the part people do not see. They do not see the private battle. They do not see the discipline you are trying to build. They do not see the old habits you are trying to break. They do not see the thoughts you are fighting. They do not see the small promises you are finally keeping to yourself. The world notices results, but character is built before the result appears. Quiet progress is still progress, even when nobody claps. Some people build early. Some people begin late. Some people succeed fast and collapse later. Some people look lost for years and then build something real. Some people follow the normal timeline and still feel empty. Some people get everything on time and still do not know who they are. So stop worshiping speed. Speed is not the same as direction. Moving fast means nothing if you are moving toward a life you do not want. The better question is not, am I ahead or behind? The better question is, am I becoming more honest with myself? Because you can be ahead socially and lost spiritually. You can be praised by everyone and still feel like a stranger to yourself. You can have the title, the money, the relationship, the image, and still know deep down that you are performing a life instead of living one. Your goal is not to win someone else's race. Your goal is to stop betraying yourself. You do not stop feeling behind by becoming perfect overnight. You stop by changing what you measure. First, ask yourself, do I actually want this? Not, will this impress people? Not, will this make me look successful? Not, will this prove I am not behind? Ask, do I truly want this life? Because many people do not want the things they chase. They want relief from shame. They want proof that they are enough. They want people to stop questioning them. They want to feel safe from judgment. But fear is not the same as desire. Second, make your life smaller and more honest. Choose one thing to build, one habit, one skill, one project, one direction, one truth you have been avoiding. You do not need to fix your whole life today. You need to stop abandoning it. Third, accept your pace. Slow does not mean wrong. Quiet does not mean meaningless. Unseen does not mean unimportant. Some things take longer because they are being built deeper. And fourth, act from responsibility, not panic. Panic says, I need to catch up. Responsibility says, I need to begin. Panic compares. Responsibility builds. Panic rushes. Responsibility commits. Panic wants instant proof. Responsibility creates proof over time. That is the difference. You may not be late, but that does not mean you should keep waiting. This is important. You are not late is not an excuse to stay passive. It is not permission to waste more years. It is not comfort for avoiding responsibility. It is a reminder that your life is still yours, and because it is still yours, you must do something with it. You do not need to panic, but you do need to wake up. You do not need to hate yourself, but you do need to be honest. You do not need to compete with everyone, but you do need to stop delaying the life you know you are supposed to build. There is still time, but not infinite time. There is still a path, but you must walk it. There is still a future, but it will not be created by regret. It will be created by what you do next. So ask yourself, whose timeline am I trying to follow? Who am I comparing myself to? What do I think I should have achieved by now? Do I actually want that life? Or do I only want to escape the shame of feeling behind? What would I choose if I were not trying to impress anyone? What would I start if I stopped believing it was too late? Maybe you are not behind. Maybe you are just at the beginning of a path that is actually yours. And the beginning often feels small. It feels uncertain. It feels embarrassing. But the beginning is not failure. It is where every real life starts. Do not let comparison turn your life into punishment. Do not let regret become your identity. Do not let someone else's speed make you hate your own process. You are not here to live the fastest life. You are not here to win a race you never chose. You are not here to become impressive to people who do not know your soul. You are here to become real, and becoming real takes time. So start where you are. Use what you have. Build what is true, because you are not late. You are only late when you abandon your own life to chase someone else's. You are not late, but do not waste the life that is still waiting for you.